but without a very high quality team, he just simply cannot do anything by himself.
And would you have a home advantage in Ireland knowing the course, and can you train on the course? Or?
Yeah, I mean the great thing about it is a lot of the races, they follow the same course every year, so it's almost like an F1 driver. I mean you may know the Monaco GP over and over and over. You could probably do it with your eyes closed. So it's a great one. My family don't really understand. I can direct people around the back end of Kerry. Back then I was only 18 when I was doing it. So you have a lot of road knowledge. I mean, all the roads around here would be my training roads. So knowing the road is like knowing the course on a driver. It's absolutely critical. There can be a dodgy bend, a manhole cover that maybe in the rain gets wet, slight bit of cobblestones. All of those things can absolutely make or break a race. So yeah, knowledge is absolutely huge for the courses.
We're lucky as well because we're going through one of his home villages for one of the stages of the Ross in Mitchelstown, and I think the whole of Bantir and Canturk, all the schools, everyone's going to be on the road. So yeah, I don't imagine you can slow them all down.
I think just in relation to where you work as a team, and obviously you're going to have maybe one or two people on the team who are the strongest and the one who's probably going to do better than others. So is that always a given that the team will always work for that one person to make sure that that person gets over the line?
A lot of the time, yes, but cycling is very unique in the sense that it's not always the best guy wins. Okay. So terrain makes a big difference in how a race runs. So if it's a very hilly race, like Paddy for example would be he's the quickest guy in Ireland by far, and he's really worked on that this year. So we're really hoping that he can play a big part in the bunch sprints, which 4 or 5 stages could end up in a bunch sprint, and we have a really good chance of winning them. And then, so we would throw our eggs all in one basket, potentially on 1 or 2 of those stages, maybe the first stage. But you also let the road figure that out as well, so he might be on a good day. Adam, the 2 boys here are very fast sprinters as well, but then we have days where we're going for the overall, and Adam's definitely, he's a real guy for the overall, so we're going to have to help him out a lot there on the hilly days. So the guys will get different chances. Our team is actually quite varied. The 2 boys are going to be on their job would be okay to help the other guys out over the week, but it's such an aggressive race that for us to do well, they need to be aggressive, and they get opportunities from that. So early in the race, there'll be a lot of attacks going on to establish this break that goes up the road, and their job is to get into that break. And the way pro racing works, and this is the way the Ross is going to work, is that a group goes up the road, and one of the big teams establish themselves on the front, and they set a tempo, and it starts riding up and over, and they let the guys go off. So they said it's very hard behind. Now this doesn't always happen, but they let the gap go out. It could go 2, 3, 4 minutes. There's always comes a point in the race where they know, okay, now we have to start increasing it to bring them back, because if you have 8 to 10 guys riding up and over and taking shelter from the wind, to say 4 or 5 guys who are away in the escape, you can almost time what you're going to bring them back to. But they get the opportunity to go, and they time it wrong quite a lot. I mean, and again, this is the thing with the Ross, that the county teams, the pros don't know us. They don't know how good we are. And Owen Morton and Brian McChrystal were a clear example of that a few years back, when 2 animals of guys, really, really strong guys, went up the road. The bunch of like 2 guys, 2 guys riding up and over. We pulled them back, no bother, put 10 guys on the front. All of a sudden, 30k to go, they're getting all the teams riding, and the gap's not coming down. The 2 boys are they're big, strong guys, and they timed it wrong, and the 2 guys stayed away, and they were caught on the line. There was no more than a few bike lengths in it, but they got first and second, and a massive, massive win for one of the home Irish guys. So, yeah, we have established guys to help them out, but the guys, it's not that kind of race where you just say, okay, everyone's for one guy. You take advantage of your different parts of the race.
And you were talking about energy and fuel and energy drinks. What about energy bars? Are those healthy?
Oh yeah. So that's the problem. It's very hard to get
that
stuff.
One out of a vending machine, the healthy out of a vending machine.
But actually, you'd be surprised. A can of Coke goes a long way in the last 30k. It's pure sugar, and honestly, it's pure sugar.
We were in the Tour of Ulster a couple of weeks ago. Really hot weather. the bank holiday weekend, May bank holiday weekend, glorious, up in, down, and you know, in the last 30k, Jen was in the back of the car and we were shouting out to open cans of Coke so we could get them to the lads out of the car. Just a sugar fest for the last
But they're actually
10, 15 kilometres.
You know,
Just what you were saying about the energy bars, they can, like, you burn so much calories, so you have to eat so many of them, but they can be really hard on your stomach,
Yeah.
like especially over 8 days. So we try to take like a lot of like brioche buns and like rice cakes and like natural bananas
Very
and
healthy
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
It sounds
not the dry
counterintuitive.
rice cakes now. They're special made ones from our Swanee who cooks
Sorry,
them the
Marcy,
night
you want
before and
to
there's
have
jam and
this?
there's raisins and everything.
Those of us work too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I handed him a dry rice cake, I'd get a
Throw
throw
it
back.
back.
But yeah, no, it's you'd be surprised. Some of the worst stuff could probably actually help you in the closing stages.
That is one of the hardest parts of, certainly my memory of doing the Ross was, it was a lot, it's 30 years ago now, but the hardest part is feeding yourself after about 3 or 4 days, because you're eating the same foods day in, day out. And you mentioned it, I think, Tim, about breakfast. Like, you come down to breakfast after day 3, we were having spaghetti and rice for breakfast, and the thoughts of just having another spaghetti breakfast. But back then, we didn't have the range of kind of, you know, carbohydrates. Like back in the 80s, you know, spaghetti and rice for breakfast was really unusual, like, you know.
But they still do.
Yeah.
They still, and actually GCN there, which is one of the big media crowds for the pro scene at the moment, they were going around the tour of Italy that's on at the moment, and they were asking all the riders, what do you have for your breakfast? And still plenty of them like, have my pasta in the morning, you know. But they do joke about it, and on the Ross, it's a very common thing. The Ross there, what day does it hit you? When you just come down in the morning, you just stare in front of you, and nothing's going in, and it hits everyone at some point.
That's if you can walk down the stairs after.
Has anyone else got any questions?
So I guess like next week, big week for you. Like what does
Success
race
look
for you?
like?
Yeah, what does it look like? Then maybe in 2 years' time, if you touch them a bit, where do you want to be? I suppose individually and as a team.
Well, I think success for the Ross next week is to win a stage. It's the biggest race in our calendar. It's an international race. As Tim said, it's UCI ranked. So to win a stage is huge. You know, out of the 150 odd riders that will start in Drogheda on Sunday, probably about 60 are full-time professional riders.
More
than
that. Yeah, it's a
from big pro, you know, setups. You know, so you're talking a half and half maybe. So, you know, for these guys, with the exception of Adam, you know, to win a stage against those guys is just huge. It's kind of like your Kilkenny football team showing up and beating the Dubs to a certain extent, you know, in terms of how much they have going for them versus, you know, our guys and support. But we've tried to create replicate as professional, you know, an outfit as possible. And they have huge natural talent. So we are at that level where we believe we can do that. You know, get a podium is definitely within our reach on one of the stage. And then, you know, when you strip the professional teams out of it, you have county teams that Tim alluded to. So, you know, we would be aiming to be the top. We're, you know, designated as a Dublin team to be the top county team in the country. Again, it'd be huge. And then in terms of where we go from here, like, it's about whether Dylan can make the step up that Adam made this year, that Adam goes on, you know, to develop a very, you know, category 1 professional career. You know, as Tim said, it's about bringing new guys into the setup next year, and